now we're at the time where the Hamashiach is getting ready to come.
And hidden riches of secret places, that thou mayest know that I am the Lord.
Last words, brother.
Shalom, ma.
All right.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. All right. Shabbat shalom, Yasharel.
All right. Shabbat shalom, Israel, man.
Pray that you
Welcome.
all right. All praise to the Most High. Pray that you all are having a blessed Shabbat. For those of you scattered to the four corners, man, a lot of crazy stuff going on this flat Earth. Yeah, y'all hear about all them earthquakes that are going on, and then all of Europe, and they got this extreme heat. Them white folks ain't ready for that, man. They can't handle that sun and heat, boy. That's too much for them. I lived in Europe for a couple of years, and Europe, man, they're not known for getting like extreme heat or hot weather, because of where they are and everything. They average in the summertime. You lucky if it gets like 85 or something, But that's been in the hundreds, man. So they've been cutting up over there. Yes, sir. Yep. And then they had this huge earthquake in Venezuela. A lot of people, man, died on that one. And then I think they had one in Southern California and then some other places across the earth. So, yeah, man, it's crazy. And I don't believe in no man-made natural disasters either. Only the Most High can bring on all these natural disasters. We're just getting the very beginning stages of these earth pains that the Most High is throwing out there, So just know that it's going to increase and it's going to intensify, over the months, years, and, just all I can say to you, Yasharel, stand fast, keep those commandments. All righty.
That's the truth, brother. That is the truth.
Because outside of that, man, just grab your popcorn, sit back, let the Most High do his thing. But shit, man, it's getting crazy. All right, we're gonna be in the book of Jubilees. Jubilees chapter 50. You let me know what you want me to read. I'll let you read first, and then you just tell me which ones you want me to cover after that. And we'll get it.
All right. I'll read up until 9 and you read 10 on down. All right.
All righty. Sounds good to me.
All right.
Let's get it.
And it says, behold the commandment regarding the Sabbath. I have written them down for thee and all the judgments of its laws. All right. This is just for educational purposes. Right? Educational purposes of how we should keep the holy Shabbat. 6 days shalt thou labor, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord, your God. And in it ye shall do no manner of work. All right. It says, in it ye shall do no manner of work. So you should not be working for the white man on the Shabbats. Right. Ye, not you, right? Nor your sons, your men servants, your maid servants, your daughters, if you have whatever it is, all your cattle and the sojourner also, whom is with you. Right. And so nobody in your household is supposed to be out there working that you got up under there if you were supposed to keep it, if you're an Israelite. And the man that does any work on it shall die, right? So that's the punishment for breaking the Shabbat. Remember that man, he was picking up sticks on the Shabbat and he brought him to Moses. And Moses went to the Lord and to ask what to do with him. And the Lord said, hey, stone him, right? And that's a horrible death.
No joke.
Stone him. Whoever desecrates that day, whoever lies with his wife, so no sex on the Shabbat, right? Because sex makes you what? Unclean. Spilling seed makes you unclean, right? Whoever lies with his wife, or whoever says he will do something on it, that he will set out on a journey thereon in regard to any buying or selling, or whoever draws water thereon, which he had not prepared for himself on the 6th day, and whoever takes up any burden to carry it out of his tent or out of his house shall die. So it's a day of chilling, right? Yeah, you're not really doing nothing, really just concentrating on the Lord, family time, getting recharged for that next week. Ye shall do no work whatever on the Sabbath day, save what you have prepared for yourselves on the 6th day, so as to eat and drink and rest, and to keep Sabbath from all work on that day, and to bless the Lord your God, who has given you a day of festival and a holy day and a day of the holy kingdom for all Israel is this day among their days forever. So this never goes away, right?
All praise to the Most High.
All right.
All right, verse 10. For great is the honor which the Lord has given to Israel, that they should eat and drink and be satisfied on this festival day. So, the Shabbat is a feast day. It's a festival. All right. We are to eat and drink, but we cannot fast on this day. At least we're commanded not to fast. And rest thereon from all labor which belongs to the labor of the children of men, save burning frankincense and bringing oblations and sacrifices before the Lord for days and for Shabbats. It's something, because I do a lot of projects on my property, right? And 6 days, Sunday I'm doing something all during the week, and then Friday I wrap it up around 3. And then, for the Shabbat, I get to look at the works of my hands. I get to look at the stuff that, hey, I accomplished, to make me feel like, hey, dang, man, I put some work in on this thing, and it's to set that aside, rest up, so you can have that whole day to the Most High, reflect. So, it's a powerful thing. Verse 11. This work alone shall be done on the Shabbat days in the sanctuary of the Lord your God, that they may atone for Israel with sacrifice continually from day to day, for a memorial well-pleasing before the Lord, and that he may receive them always from day to day, according as thou hast been commanded. We should also on this day be repenting, praying for the sins of our forefathers, our sins, to be washed away, because the reason why we're in this crazy situation is because of our forefathers. We're bearing the brunt of it. Verse 12. And every man who does any work thereon, or goes on a journey, or tills his farm, whether he's in a house or any other place, and whoever lights a fire, or rides on any beast, or travels by ship on the sea, and whoever strikes or kills anything, or slaughters a beast or a bird, or whoever catches an animal or a bird or a fish, or whoever fasts or makes war on the Shabbats. We're not to do none of that stuff.
That's right.
Verse 13. The man who does any of these things on the Shabbat shall die. That's serious. So that the children of Israel shall observe the Shabbats according to the commandments regarding the Shabbats of the land, as it is written in the tablets which he gave into my hands, that I should write out for thee the laws of the seasons, and the seasons according to the division of their days. Herewith is completed the account of the division of the days. Even though, the commandments were written by the Father, the mighty Abba, but they were given to us by the Hamashiach. And you got to understand, when we came out of Egypt, some people like to say, oh, well, that was harsh, for them to get stoned like that. But you got to realize that sin is a disease. And if it goes unchecked, it spreads like wildfire. And that's why when them boys were at the bottom of Mount Sinai, all it took was one little suggestion. And all of a sudden they out there dancing around and all in lasciviousness and bathing in wickedness. But all it took was a little spark. All it took was one little suggestion. Let's say, talk to somebody, see if they can build a calf or something. Go talk to Aaron. We want to go back to Egypt. Not even thinking about, they just totally forgot about all the miracles, all the 10 plagues, and hell, who you going to go back to, man? You saw with your own eyes, Pharaoh and his army, who's the army destroyed in the sea. But that's just, that goes to show you the delusionalism, with our people. They even think something like that, and we do the same thing today.
That's right, man.
Yeah, man. So, in this story but in this true life historical event of our people, we're going to be bringing out, we're going to be wrapping up Isaac and then starting to go into Jacob, the birth of Jacob and Esau. All right. And just pay attention, because I know that you got some people, I know the camps teach that Esau is the white man, but that could be further from the truth because there were no white people back then. So when Esau mixed himself with the other nations, he mixed himself with the Hamite nations. So that's what people don't realize.
God.
So, Esau, even in the day, Esau is still black. He looks just like us.
Oh,
ain't no white man with some blue eyes and walking around here, calling that white man your brother. Cut it out.
That's crazy, man. Especially when all his wives were African. I don't know how they
Yeah.
think that Esau is white today.
Well, they use that verse where it says he mixed himself amongst the nations, and with the other nations, with the Hamite nations. They were Hamite
I know,
nations.
right? Exactly.
That's what he mixed himself with. So
I know.
he's like mixed in with all the Hamites.
So he got to be black.
Yeah, there were no white folks. White people didn't come on the scene till like a little bit just shy of 2,000 years ago. White folks weren't even on the scene.
Super.
What you talking about? Esau's the white man because he was born red. Man,
that doesn't make any sense, man. That's like their genetics are super damaged as far as like the melanin gene. It wasn't that, back in those days, man, you didn't, the damage wasn't that bad. You didn't have anyone that were born albino really like that. I mean, maybe you might have had one or two, but they were killed off or made it within the tribe or whatever.
Yep. And plus they were hunted down too, because especially with African, a lot of that those people when they were born like that, they were killed immediately, because they thought they were devils. Bad though, but damn.
All right, I guess we'll start with Jasher 23. I'll grab the first 10.
All right,
and,
let's do it.
Switch it up. All right.
Let's get it.
Chapter 23 of the book of Jasher, one of the hidden books of the scriptures that correlate and corroborate with all the other books. Says, at that time, the word of the Lord came to Abraham, and he said unto him, Abraham, and he said, here I am. And he said to him, take now thy son, thy only son whom thou lovest, even Isaac, and go to the land of Moriah and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which shall be shown to thee. For there wilt thou see a cloud and the glory of the Lord. And Abraham said within himself, how shall I separate my son from Sarah, his mother, in order to bring him up for a burnt offering before the Lord? And Abraham came into the tent, and he sat before Sarah his wife, and he spoke these words to her. My son Isaac is grown up, and he has not for some time studied the service of his God. Now tomorrow I will go and bring him to Shem, and Eber his son, and there he will learn the ways of the Lord. For they will teach him to know the Lord, as well as to know that when he prayeth continually before the Lord, he will answer him. Therefore, he will know the way of serving the Lord his God. And Sarah said, thou hast spoken well. Go, my Lord, and do unto him as thou hast said, but remove him not a great distance from me, neither let him remain there too long, for my soul is bound within his soul. Man, you know what I like? I just love how the parents love their children in these days.
I know.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's a real special love. They really, they weren't trying to hurry up and get them out the house by the time they hit 18. They weren't trying to do nothing. They were just trying to keep their kids around them as long as possible, man. That's how you build strong families.
Yeah, that was the norm. They stayed around. They stayed around, and they shared the property. One would build his tent somewhere on the same property, but they always stayed together.
That's how it's supposed to be. Yep. Verse number 7. And Abraham said unto Sarah, my daughter, let us pray to the Lord our God that he may do good with us. And Sarah took her son Isaac, and he abode all that night with her. And she kissed and embraced him, and gave him instructions till morning. And she said to him, oh, my son, how can my soul separate itself from thee? And she still kissed him and embraced him. And she gave Abraham instructions concerning him. And Sarah said to Abraham, O my Lord, I pray, take heed of thy son, and place thine eyes over him, for I have no other son, nor a daughter, but him. Because remember now, it took Sarah all the way until she hit damn near 90 before she got Isaac. And it says, oh, forsake him not, for he be hungry, give him bread, and if he be thirsty, give him water to drink. Do not let him go on foot, neither let him sit in the sun. Oh, sorry, Salaki, that's you. I had read your verse.
No, you read 10. I just got to read. I started at 11. I started at 11.
All
right. Verse 11, it says, oh, forsake him not, If he be hungry, give him bread, and if he be thirsty, give him water to drink. Do not let him go on foot, neither let him sit in the sun. Neither let him go by himself in the road, neither force him from whatever he may desire, but do unto him as he may say to thee. And Sarah wept bitterly the whole night on account of Isaac, and she gave him instruction till morning. And you know, a mother love for their children is just unparalleled by anything. Verse 14. And in the morning, Sarah selected a very fine and beautiful garment from those garments which she had in the house, and Abimelech had given to her. And she dressed Isaac her son therewith, and she put a turban upon his head, and she enclosed a precious stone in the top of the turban. And she gave them provision for the road. And they went forth, and Isaac went with his father Abraham, and of their servants accompanied them. And some of the servants accompanied them to set them off the road. You know, it's amazing because it talked about the turban, and the scripture also talks about the mitri, you know, which is a head covering tradition that we wore on our heads, and even to this day, you know, as we're getting back to our the commandments. Verse 16. And Sarah went out with them, and she accompanied them upon the road to see them off. And they said to her, return to the tent. You can scroll up to 17 up.
I got you, brother.
And when Sarah heard the words of her son Isaac, she wept bitterly, and Abraham her husband wept with her, and their son with them a great weeping. Also those who went with them wept greatly. Because, you know, Abraham knew what he had, you know, and he just, you know, and that tells you the faith that Abraham had in the Most High. And Sarah caught hold of her son Isaac, and she held him in her arms, and she embraced him and continued to weep with him. And Sarah said, who knoweth if after this day I shall ever see thee again? And they, and yeah, I know, they still went together, Abraham, Sarah, and Isaac, and all those that accompanied them on the road wept with them. And Sarah afterwards turned away from her son, weeping bitterly, and all her men servants and maid servants returned with her to the tent. And Abraham went with Isaac, his son, to bring him up as an offering before the Lord, as he had commanded him. You know, man, this has to be the greatest test of faith for Abraham. I mean, the greatest, because here's your only son, you know, and after all these years, you know, with no children, you had this son, you know, true son that was called by the Most High. And now you're being told, hey, you know, you got to offer him up as a sacrifice. Man, to like just go with the blind faith and trust in the Most High without question. I'm talking about without question. But that's a testament for us today. You know, we got to really put our faith in the Most High. You know, we got to keep these laws, brothers and sisters. And you can't be afraid to tell, you know, your supervisor, hey, you know, I'm keeping these laws, in fear if you might lose the job. You got to stand fast. And a lot of people aren't there yet, you know, are not willing to take that stand because they fear they losing. They look at money, was like, I got to feed my family. But hey, man, your first and main priority is in the Most High and keeping these commandments. Everything else will work itself out.
That's right, man. Verse number 21. And Abraham took two of his young men with him, Ishmael, the son of Hagar, right? That's his first son, and Eliezer, Eliezer, his servant. And he went together with them. And whilst they were walking in the road, the young men spoke these words to themselves. And Ishmael said to Eliezer, now my father Abraham is going with Isaac to bring him up for a burnt offering to the Lord as he commanded him. Now when he returneth, he will give unto me all he possesses to inherit after him, for I am his firstborn. And Eliezer answered Ishmael and said, surely Abraham did cast thee away with thy mother, is swear that thou shouldest not inherit anything of all he possesses. And to whom will he give all that he has with all his treasures, but unto me, his servant, who has been faithful in his house, and who has served him night and day, and has done all that he has desired of me. To me, he will bequeath all at his death, and that he possesses. Man, these are some too greedy. They're trying to say, they ready for Isaac to die so they can claim the firstborn right of all the riches that Abraham has amassed over the years. Yeah, man. Anyway, that's wicked. Right? It says, man, that's just like praying in your man. I hope my dad hurry up and die, or my mom hurry up and die, so I can inherit whatever they got. Man, that's wicked as hell, man.
No, that's crazy, man. That's straight up disrespectful.
Man, that is outrageous. And whilst Abraham was proceeding with his son Isaac along the road, Satan came and appeared to Abraham in the figure of a very aged man. I'll read that again. And while Abraham was proceeding with his son Isaac along the road, Satan came and appeared to Abraham in a figure of a very aged man.
Damn.
Humble and contrite spirit. And he approached Abraham and said to him, Art thou silly, or art thou brutish, that thou goest to do this thing this day to thy only son? For God gave thee a son in thy latter days, in thy old age, and wilt thou go and slaughter him this day because he committed no violence? And wilt thou cause the soul of thy only son to perish from the earth? Dost thou not know and understand that this thing cannot be from the Lord? For the Lord cannot do unto man such evil upon the earth to say to him, Go, slaughter thy child. And Abraham heard this and knew that it was the word of Satan, who endeavored to draw him aside from the way of the Lord. But Abraham would not hearken to the voice of Satan, and Abraham rebuked him so that he went away. Now, a lot of us today, if we were put to this same test, right, you had some man coming up to you telling you that, man, this is not the way of the Lord. Man, you would probably think that, oh, no. The Lord wouldn't tell me to sacrifice my son, right? You would have listened to Satan and fell away because we don't have faith. See, Abraham had unshakable faith. This is why the scripture said that God was the God of Shem and Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Like at this particular time, God is not the God God is only the God of Abraham at this point in time. So out of all the men on the earth, the only one that has a God is Abraham, who has been blessed, and he has the strength among his people. So we had to have faith in God, unshakable faith, for out of all the men on the earth, for the Most High to choose Abraham. This is why our covenant is so strong today. You got to think about that, right? He's like one of the greats, like Noah, right? Chose out of all the men out of earth. So was Abraham. Man, God doesn't, he don't just deal with everybody, man. Out of all, just think about how many people are on the earth, and then God was like, I ain't dealing with none of these but Abraham.
That ought to tell you volumes right there.
Man. And it says, and Satan returned and came to Isaac, and he appeared unto Isaac in the figure of a young man, comely and well favored. And he approached Isaac and said to him, Dost thou not know and understand that thy old silly father bringeth thee to the slaughter this day for naught? Now, therefore, my son.
I get that one. Yeah.
Salaki. Hey, man, that's on me. Salaki. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting caught up in the story. Yeah, I would get caught up in the story, man. You know me.
Yeah, let me share something right quick. This, what does this remind you of when Satan came up to them? He came up not only to Abraham, but to Isaac. All right, he's done it to Job. He's done it several times. So that lets you know that truly Satan was created to be a snare. It was like that opposite to test you. You know how you used to see in them cartoons I used to watch, and then you see the devil on one side and you see an angel on the other side. That ain't far from the truth, because it's like you have that temptation of James 4:7. It says, submit yourself therefore to Yahweh, resist the devil. Resist the devil and he will flee from you. So remember what it said when Abraham resisted him. What did it say? It said that Satan left. Once you pass the temptation, Satan cannot tempt you beyond that. You got to go. Once he's rebuked, he got to go. So it was just interesting, when you see something like this, it's like, dog, man, this looks familiar. This is exactly what happened to Job and a few others. Satan came onto them. All right.
But also, right, I want y'all to remember, and I want y'all to think about it. Remember what Hamashiach said to Satan, that it is written that is only for him to do, that is only for him to obey and do the will of God and the will of God only. So when Satan is out here doing stuff, right? Satan had to make sure Abraham was worthy, even after everything that has been done, all the testing has been done, right? Abraham and his son Isaac, they were still put to the test until the very end to make sure, right? To make positively sure that the covenant could be passed from the father to the son.
That's right. It was the same thing with Job. Because remember what he said? What do you think about my servant Job? Job was found worthy because he knew. And you're right, man. It's like, in order for Satan to do that, you have to be found worthy. But too many times today, man, our people are just constantly tricked with the vows of Satan and falling each time. Verse 31. Now, therefore, my son, do not listen nor attend to him, for he is a silly old man. And let not thy precious soul and beautiful figure be lost from the earth. And Isaac heard this and said unto Abraham, hast thou heard, my father, that which this man had spoken? Even thus he has spoken. And Abraham answered his son Isaac and said to him, take heed of him and do not listen to his words, nor attend to him, for he is Satan, endeavoring to draw us aside this day from the commands of God. You hear it? The commands of God. What does Satan do to our people today? He puts them in limbo, and he keeps us from keeping the commandments.
He endeavors to draw us aside from the commands of God daily. Oh, I wouldn't finish with that one. Go back. 33. Endeavoring to draw us aside from the commands of God.
Okay.
Yeah, you read that out.
Okay,
I got you.
And Abraham still rebuked Satan, and Satan went from them, and seeing he could not prevail over them. Remember that verse we read in James 4:7, resist the devil and he will flee from you. And seeing he could not prevail over them, he did himself from them, and he went and passed before them in the road, and he transformed himself to a large brook of water in the road. And Abraham and Isaac and his two young men reached that place, and they saw a brook large and powerful as the mighty waters. And they entered the brook and passed through it, and the waters at first reached their legs, and they went deeper into the brook, and the waters reached up to their necks. And they were all terrified on account of the water. And whilst they were going over the brook, Abraham recognized that place, and he knew that there was no water there before. Hey,
Satan going in.
That's crazy. I know, man.
37.
Yep.
There we go.
And Abraham said to his son Isaac, I know this place in which there was no brook nor water. Now, therefore, it is this Satan who does all this to us, to draw us aside this day from the commands of God. So if he, man, it's crazy, man, because if Satan is given the power, he can turn himself into the elements of the earth. Man, that's crazy.
Man, or a young man, or old, or young boy, anybody to come up to you that you don't know to try to convince you to do wickedness, man. That's insane. That's scary too.
What is that? What is that? You may be entertaining, think you're entertaining strangers, but you might be entertaining, it's crazy, man.
Or angels or Satan.
Yeah, it talks about Satan is being able to transform into an angel of light. So when you're keeping these commandments, man, that's when you're the most tested. And Abraham rebuked him and said unto him, the Lord rebuke thee, O Satan. Be gone from us, for we go by the commands of God. There it is again, the command of God. What was the command of God? Sacrifice your son upon the altar. That was it. That's all he had to do. Just like with Adam and Eve, when he told Adam, Adam responsible. Hey, you can eat of every tree in the garden, but of this tree of the fruit and knowledge of good and evil, you better not touch it. That's all Adam had to do. It's just obey the Most High's command.
That part right there, where you see in verse 38, and you see the last word where it says God, I can assure you that he had said the name of the Lord, and that's what will preclude verse 39. Go ahead,
And Satan was terrified, and Satan was terrified at the voice of Abraham, and he went away from them, and that place again became dry land as it was at the first.
Mm.
And Abraham went with Isaac toward that place that God had told him. Yeah, man, that's something else. It's on you, 41.
God. He was terrified of the voice of Abraham because he had mentioned the name of the Lord. He said, well, we're going to do the name of the Lord. Verse 41. And on the third day, Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place at a distance, which God had told him of. And a pillar of fire appeared to him that reached from the heaven to the earth, and a cloud of glory upon the mountains, and the glory of the Lord was seen in the cloud. And Abraham said to Isaac, my son, dost thou see in that mountain, which we perceive at a distance, that which I see upon it? And Isaac answered and said unto his father, I see, and lo, a pillar of fire and a cloud, and the glory of the Lord is seen upon the cloud. And Abraham said to Isaac, my Salakia, I'm on 44. There we go. And Abraham knew that his son Isaac was accepted before the Lord for a burnt offering. And Abraham said to Eliezer, and unto Ishmael his son, do you also see that which is upon the mountain, which is at a distance? And they answered and said, we see nothing more than like the other mountains of the earth. Now, see, that is the difference between the brothers and sisters that keep the law, statutes, and commandments and the ones that don't. The ones that do, they have the vision of the wisdom to see, right, and able to understand that, man, this thing is going to get destroyed, right? This thing is headed for destruction. And they know to keep the law, statutes, and commandments will be their only saving grace to escape the coming destruction. But if you don't keep the commandments, you're going to be just like Eliezer, and Ishmael. You got that spirit of greed, that spirit of, hoping that the chosen one falls, and you're not really paying attention to what the Lord got going on. You want to
exactly,
you want to be a friend with the world.
Everything is carnal. You don't see the spiritual things. Keeping the commandments helps you to see spiritual things, and you see, a lot.
Well, that's that's exactly what I was trying to say. Appreciate that, brother. All right, verse 47. Well, it says, and he answered and said, we see nothing more than like the other mountains of the earth. And Abraham knew that they were not accepted before the Lord to go with them. And Abraham said to them, abide ye here with the ass, while I and Isaac my son will go to yonder mount and worship there before the Lord, and then return to you. And Eleazar and Ishmael maintained in that place as Abraham had commanded. And Abraham took wood for a burnt offering and placed it upon his son Isaac, and he took the fire and the knife, and they both went to that place. And when they were going along, Isaac said to his father, behold, I see here the fire and wood. Where then is the lamb that is to be the burnt offering before the Lord?
Man, I bet you Abraham was moving slower than ever, boy. I bet you Abraham was moving slower than the molasses, man. Just hoping and praying, man. As Most High will give him a word or something.
Look at every direction, man. Look at every direction. Like, what
I know, pausing and everything, like, preparing the altar. But I bet you it probably took him 3 days, man, to make that altar. He was going so slow. 51. And Abraham answered his son Isaac, saying, the Lord has made choice of thee, my son, to be a perfect burnt offering instead of the lamb. And Isaac said unto his father, what?
No, I said, I've been saying, Isaac didn't lie to his son or nothing, man. He was straight up 100%.
And Isaac said unto his father, I will do all that the Lord spoke to thee with joy and cheerfulness of heart. Man, he had the faith. Isaac, man, he truly understood what was going on, and he had just as much faith as his father. It says, and Abraham again said to Isaac his son, is there in thy heart any thought or counsel concerning this, which is not proper? Tell me, my son, I pray thee, O my son, counsel it not from me. And Isaac answered his father Abraham and said unto him, O my father, as the Lord liveth and as thy soul liveth, there is nothing in my heart to cause me to deviate. So, Man, Isaac was standing on business.
I did not.
Just
I did not do, boy.
no, man. He says there is nothing. Can you imagine a child, man, with that much faith like that? You know, says there is
Nah.
nothing in my heart that calls me to deviate either to the right or to the left from the word that which has spoken to thee.
Oh,
See,
boy.
this is like this, man. This should be a slap in the face, man, to a lot of our people who don't want to keep the laws because, like, when we keep the laws, man, what do? You know, we keep the laws with all our heart, mind, and soul. We don't venture to the right or venture to the left. You know, we stay in that middle path. You know, on that narrow path. The reason why so many brothers, man, break up and can't get along is because they don't keep the commandments.
That's right.
Verse 55, neither limb nor muscle has moved or stirred at this, nor is there in my heart any thought or evil counsel concerning this.
That's right.
But I am joyful and cheerful heart in this matter. And I say, it is the Lord who has this day chosen me to be a burnt offering for him.
Man. Now that's the faith of a mustard seed that you know
right.
that Hamashiach was mentioning. Imagine that he
right.
said he don't feel no kind of apprehension, no nothing, just straight ready to go to the grave, right, to obey the Lord.
Yep.
A lot of us today,
Verse
man, we
57.
don't have that kind of faith.
Nope. And Abraham greatly rejoiced at the words of Isaac, and they went on and came together to that place that the Lord had spoken of. And Abraham approached to build the altar in that place. And Abraham was weeping, and Isaac took stones and mortar until they had finished building the altar. And Abraham took the wood and placed it in order upon the altar which he had built. Well, like I said, man, I bet he was moving slow as molasses. And he took like every lifting of the wood, he probably bent slow and then it was walking real slow, weeping and just praying, man, that Most High would give him an answer. And he took his son Isaac and bound him in order to place him on the wood, which was upon the altar, to slay him for a burnt offering before the Lord. And oh, you got that one. Verse 61.
Yes, sir. All right, let me scoop this up. All right. And Isaac said to his father, bind me securely. Right, man. Isaac is selling this. Isaac said to his father, bind me securely, and then place me upon the altar, lest I should turn and move and break loose from the force of the knife upon my flesh, and thereof profane the burnt offering. And Abraham did so. So, man, that was pretty smart, you know, because you know, it's your natural instinct to live. So Abraham's like, just in case I got scared the last minute and tried to, you know, break loose, man, make sure you bind me up good. And Isaac still said to his father, "O my father, when thou shalt have slain me and burnt me for an offering, take thee with thee which shall remain of my ashes to bring to Sarah my mother." Wow, still thoughtful, right? And he said to her, "This is the sweet smelling savor of Isaac, but do not tell her of this, if she should sit near a well or upon any high place, lest she should cast her soul after me and die." That is outrageous, right? And Abraham heard the words of Isaac, and he lifted up his voice and wept when Isaac spake these words. And Abraham's tears gushed down upon Isaac his son, and Isaac wept bitterly. And he said to his father, "Hasten thou, O my father, and do with me the will of the Lord our God, as he has commanded thee." And the hearts of Abraham and Isaac rejoiced at this thing which the Lord had commanded them, but the eye wept bitterly, whilst the heart rejoiced. So you can see, man, you know, he was sad that it had to be done, but you know, he rejoiced in the fact that he was still obeying God. So, you know, it was a struggle, right? Internal struggle he was going through, having to kill his son. And Abraham bound his son Isaac and placed him on the altar upon the wood. And Isaac stretched forth his neck upon the altar before his father. And Abraham stretched forth his hand to take the knife to slay his son as a burnt offering before the Lord. At that time, angels of mercy came before the Lord and spake to him concerning Isaac, saying, "O Lord, thou art a merciful and compassionate king over all that thou hast created in heaven and earth, and thou supportest them all. Give therefore ransom and redemption instead of thy servant Isaac, and pity and have compassion upon Abraham and Isaac his son, who art this day performing thy commands. Hast thou seen, O Lord, how Isaac the son of Abraham, thy servant, is bound down to the slaughter like an animal? Now, therefore, let thy pity be roused for them, O Lord. At that time, the Lord appeared unto Abraham and called to him from heaven and said unto him, lay not thy hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know the fears God in performing this act and in not withholding thy son, thine only son from me. Man, that's some serious faith right there. Man, that is some man, that's some serious faith right there, man. And I know he was happy. You know, I know, man, he was, you know, he was sweating like a bullet all of a sudden. Yeah. Oh my God. Thank you. I'm so happy to see you, man. Good God.
That was the answer you was waiting for, man.
I know that's right. I know that's right. God. It says, and Abraham, Slaki. Verse 70. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, a ram was caught in the thicket by his thorns. And that was the ram. And listen now, Israel. And that was the ram which the Lord God had created in the earth in the day that he made earth and heaven. So that's a super old ram.
Dang.
Right? That's the first ram that God had created. Right? So the first ram that God had created had lived so long with just to be for the sacrifice for Isaac.
Man, that's something.
Man, I'm telling you, man, these scriptures are right, man. When you get the whole story, man, it's amazing.
It is. Man. It's verse 71.
Con.
Yeah. All right. For the Lord had prepared this ram from that day to be a burnt offering instead of Isaac. Man, that is
hey, hold on for a second. What I wanted to say is that I know you're thinking about, oh no, well the flood happened and all that. Well, the flood didn't happen because remember all the first animals that were first born, what were they at? They were in the Garden of Eden. Okay, the only people that got kicked out of the Garden of Eden was Adam and Eve. All right, those other animals that were there, they're still there today. All right, Slaki, go ahead.
Yeah, that's something, man.
All
right, and it says, verse 72, and this ram was advancing to Abraham when Satan caught hold of him and entangled his horns in the thicket. And he might not advance to Abraham in order that Abraham might slay his son. And Abraham, seeing the ram advancing to him and Satan withholding him, fetched him and brought him before the altar. And he loosened his son Isaac from his binding, and he put the ram in its stead. And Abraham killed the ram upon the altar and brought it up as an offering in the place of his son Isaac. Man, I bet you, boy, Abraham didn't make no haste, boy. Hear him slew that ram. Verse 74, and Abraham sprinkled some of the blood of the ram upon the altar, and he exclaimed and said, this is the place of my son. And may this be considered this day as the blood of my son before the Lord. 75.
I'm gonna scoot up for y'all.
Yep.
All right.
And all that Abraham did on this day, on this occasion, by the altar, he would exclaim to say, this is the room of my son, and may it this day be considered before the Lord in the place of my son. And Abraham finished the whole of the service by the altar. And the service was accepted before the Lord and was accounted as if it had been Isaac. And the Lord blessed Abraham and his seed on that day. You know, that right there tells you, you know, that man, this was the will of the Most High, because, you know, Abraham was being tested, and he knew, you know, he was found worthy. And this is why, you know, he was chosen, man, you know, to bear the seed of the chosen, which even to this day, which is even to this day. And this is why the covenant can never be broken with the Most High between us, because he made a promise to Isaac, Jacob, and the 12 tribes. He made a promise, even though, man, we were wicked as all get out, you know, and even unto this day. But, you know, he didn't choose us or love us because we were few in number, but because the covenant that he made with Abraham. So we are, man, we should be very thankful just for the fact that we have been passed down an inheritance, a royal inheritance, to take part in the kingdom only if we keep the commandments. Verse 76, and Satan went to Sarah, now here we go again, and he appeared to her in the figure of an old man, very humble and meek. And Abraham was yet engaged in the burnt offering before the Lord. And he said unto her, Dost thou know all the work that Abraham has made with thine only son this day? For he took Isaac and built an altar and killed him and brought him up as a sacrifice upon the altar. And Isaac cried and wept before his father, but he looked not at him, neither did he have compassion over him.
Man, cold-blooded liar, boy. This nigga lying.
And Satan repeated these words, and he went away from her. And Sarah heard all the words of Satan, and she imagined him to be an old man from amongst the sons of men who had been with her son, and had come and told her these things.
I'm gonna scoot up.
Yep.
That is wicked, man.
So he planted the seed in Sarah's heart, and Sarah lifted up her voice and wept and cried out bitterly on account of her son, and she threw herself upon the ground, and she cast dust upon her head, and she said, "Oh my son Isaac, my son, oh that I had this day died instead of thee." And she continued to weep and said, "It grieves me for thee, O my son Isaac, oh that had died this day in thy stead." And she still continued to weep and said, "It grieves me for thee after that I have reared thee and have brought thee up. Now my son is turned into mourning over thee, that I had a longing for thee, and cried and prayed to God till I bare thee at 90 years old. And now thou hast served this day for the knife and the fire to be made an offering." I mean, because she wasn't there, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, then he planted a seed in her heart, man, and got her all kinds of twisted, But that's some gangster stuff, man. That's messed up on all levels.
Man, that is. I mean, she had when she was 90 years old. Hey, I was thinking about that the other day when I was reading the scriptures talking about how he had to hide her in the box when she was still like 80 or 90 years old. You know what I mean? Because she was so attractive.
Yeah.
That just makes you know that the Lord has sped up our aging process. You know what I mean? Like you would age super slow back in those days. You know what I mean? And I mean, it's scary to think about that. The Lord is like, you know what? I'm gonna make sure these instead of living for hundreds of years, I'm gonna make sure they age up fast. It's just like how you get stuck out in the sun and then this stuff just quickly gets rotten, or like raisins quickly shrivel up and you know what I mean, and get all the life force taken out of them from grapes. It's the same thing, man. It's just it's crazy how the Lord made that like that now.
Well, in Ecclesiastes, it talks about Ezra. It talks about in the last days how like each generation is getting weaker. Each generation, so we don't live as long. Back then, man, they were still kind of close to creation. They still had that vital forces from their ancestors. And they were still living. They were still living past 200 years back in those days. But now because of just so much corruption, chemicals and air and the food and everything, man. I mean, it's ridiculous, man. The age span has really been cut tremendously, man. Like average is 75. That's if you make it. Most of our people don't even make it to 75 these days now.
You're probably right, Tolbert, brother Michael Tolbert. Man, you probably back in the day, man, you were probably 200 years old and you were looking like you were a teenager.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know what I mean?
That's why when it's just like you were saying, when Sarah, when they had this for the second time when she had to hide, she was like in her 90s. I'm like, well, dang, she was still that beautiful. She probably had no wrinkles or nothing. She probably looked like she was just like 20 years old. Yeah. Just had that young look, man.
You read verse 80 yet? Nah.
Yep.
Oh, you read verse 80? It's on me?
Yep.
All right, let me scroll to 81. All right. Verse 81 is real. But I console myself with thee, my son, in it being the word of the Lord, for thou didst perform the command of thy God. For who can transgress the word of our God, in whose hands is the soul of every living creature? Man, I love how she understands that, even though she was hurt. Thou art just, O Lord our God, for all thy works are good and righteous. Right? Even though their son just got, killed. Well, even though she just thought that her son got killed for a sacrifice, this is the way, right? This is how you're supposed to do it, right? They understood what it said and that the Most High, he makes one vessel unto honor and another vessel unto destruction. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and another vessel to destroy. Who are we as lowly humans to say anything what the world, what the Most High does with his creation? He can do whatever he want to do. Thou art just, O Lord our God, for thy works are good and righteous. For I also am rejoiced with thy word that thou didst command, and while my eye weepeth bitterly, my heart rejoiceth. Same thing as her husband, right? Man, so the two have become one. And Sarah laid her head upon the bosom of one of her maidens, and she became as still as a stone. She afterwards rose up and went about making inquiries till she came to Hebron, and she inquired of all those who she had met walking in the road, and no one could tell her what had happened to her son. Verse 85. Right. And she came with her maid servants and men servants to Kireth Areba, which is Hebron, and she asked concerning her son. And she remained there while she sent some of her servants to seek where Abraham had gone with Isaac. They went to seek him in the house of Shem in Eber, and they could not find him. And they sought throughout the land, and he was not there. And behold, Satan came to Sarah in the shape of an old man. Man, Satan, I'm telling you, Israel, this is how Satan gets you. We don't know. It says in the scriptures of Job that Satan was walking up and down the earth like a hungry lion, looking for, souls to who he can devour. And he is powerful. So if you're not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, if your faith is shaky, if you're lukewarm, he gonna sift you out. Right? The Lord said we gotta be tried through the fire. Hey, this is what tried through the fire looks like. This is not easy. Just think about it, Israel. They're getting tried through the fire. And behold, Satan came to Sarah in the shape of an old man. And he came and stood before her, and he said to her, I spoke falsely unto thee, for Abraham did not kill his son, and he is not dead. And when she heard the word, her joy was so exceedingly violent on account of her own son, that her soul went out through joy. And Satan's dirty, boy. She died and was gathered to her people. Right? Hey, man, Satan sent her on an emotional roller coaster. Right? Because he knows how to attack. Man, that's a shame, man. He attacked the women through emotions. Came to her and said, "Oh man, your son's dead." "Oh no, my son's dead." "Oh no." Right? But she's happy at the same time because
just imagine it is easy. Just imagine how easy it is now for Satan to manipulate our people. Especially where we see a lot of the fathers decreasing in the home, because Satan can easily manipulate people through emotions. So he does it. So think about it.
Sad, man. It says she died and was gathered to her people. Oh
man.
But it said gathered to her people, so that's a good thing. I mean, she made the kingdom, right? And when Abraham had finished his service, he returned with his son Isaac to his young men, and they rose up and went together to Beersheba. And they came home, and Abraham sought for Sarah and could not find her. And he made inquiries concerning her, and they said unto him, She went as far as Hebron to seek you both where you had gone. And thus she was informed. And Abraham and Isaac went to Hebron. And when they found that she was dead, they lifted up their voices and wept bitterly over her. And Isaac fell upon his mother's face and wept over her. And he said, "Oh, my mother, how hast thou left me? And where hast thou gone? Oh, how hast thou left me?" And Abraham and Isaac wept greatly, and all their servants wept with them on the account of Sarah, and they mourned over her a great heavy mourning.
That's something. Yeah. Chapter 24. And the life of Sarah was 127 years. And Sarah died, and Abraham rose up from before his dead to seek a burial place to bury his wife Sarah. And he went and spoke to the children of Heth, the inhabitants of the land, saying, I am a stranger and a sojourner with you in your land. Give me a possession of a burial place in your land, that I may bury my dead from before me. And the children of Heth said unto Abraham, Behold, The land is before thee. In the choice of our sepulchres, bury thy dead. For no man shall withhold thee from burying thy dead. So that goes to show you too, like, our custom as, when our people died, they had to be buried. I haven't met one instance where anybody of our people were cremated. They were always buried because what the scripture says, it says that dust you was formed, dust you should go back to. So it's common. It was to bury our loved ones. And Abraham said unto them, if you are agreeable to this, go and entreat for me to Ephraim, the son of Zachar, requesting that he may give me the cave of Mishpelah, which is in the end of his field, and I will purchase it of him for whatever he desires for it. I'm going to scroll that up to verse 5 up.
I got you, brother.
Yeah. And Ephraim dwelt among the children of Heth, and they went and called for him, and he came before Abraham. And Ephraim said unto Abraham, behold, all thou requires thy servant will do. And Abraham said, no, but I will buy the cave and the field which thou hast for value, in order that it may be for a possession of a burial place forever. And Abraham answered and said, behold, the field and the caves are before thee. Give whatever thou desirest. And Abraham said, only at full value will I buy it from thy hand, and from the hands of those that go in at the gate of the city, and from the hand of thy seed forever. And Ephraim and all his brethren heard this, and Abraham weighed to Ephraim 400 shekels of silver in the hands of Ephraim. And that was a lot of money back then, man.
I know that's right.
Ephraim, and in the hands of all his brethren. And Abraham wrote this transaction, and he wrote it and testified it with 4 witnesses. And these are the names of the witnesses: Ammiel, son of Abishna, the Hittite, Adakoram, son of Ashnach, the Hivite, Abdon, son of Akrim, and the Gimerite, Bagdil, and the son of Amdudish, the Zidonite. Scroll up there. There you go. And Abraham took the book of the purchase and placed it in his treasures. And these are the words that Abraham wrote in the book, namely. So that was like a transaction. So it's like kind of like how we write checks today, so for record, that the cave and field Abraham bought from Ephraim the Hittite, and from his seed, and from those that go out of the city, and from their seed forever, are to be a purchase to Abraham and his seed, and to those that go forth from his lions, for a possession of a burial place forever. And he put a signet to it and testified it with witness. Man, that's something.
That's the burial place for everyone in his loins.
Yep. So anybody else want to use it, they got to pay.
That's right. God. Verse 11. And the field and the cave that was in it and all the place were made sure unto Abraham and to his seed after him. For the children of Heth, behold, it was before the memory in Hebron, which is in the land of Canaan. And after this, Abraham buried his wife Sarah there. And that place and all this boundary became to Abraham and to his seed for a possession of a burial place. All right, so this is our graveyard per se. And Abraham buried Sarah with pomp and observed at the interment of kings, and she was buried in very fine and beautiful garments. And at her bier was Shem, the sons of Eber and Abimelech, together with Anar, Ashcol, and Memri, and all the grandees of the land followed her bier. And the days of Sarah were 127 years, and she died. She still died looking young when you think about it, because, she didn't die of old age. She didn't die of old age, right? Because remember, she was still, very attractive at 90. That's they had to hide her. I still think that just, that's just amazing how you could just be that old and you could look so young. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it seems like that to us, but back then, man, it was just a whole different environment, man.
I know that, right? I'll praise it to the most.
You Man, you can even tell just back in the 50s, women were just thin. Like if you looked at all the women in the 50s, they were thin. You rarely saw a woman who was huge. Most of the women were just thin, man, and because like everybody didn't eat every day, and it was just there was no such thing as 3 meals a day, back then either. You ate when you got hungry. If you was hungry, you ate. It wasn't no set meal like they do now.
And there was a lot of stuff to do. We don't have cars. They didn't have all these extra kind of stuff that you could do back in the day. Like now, you can sit on the phone. People scroll for hours and just gain weight. Man, back in those days, you had to walk everywhere, do everything, stay active. You know what I'm saying? Just really appreciate the wonders and the gifts and things that the Most High created for us.
Yeah, everything was more physical induced, but like you said, man, you kids today, man, like I remember we actually get out and play all the time, and man, we would do all kinds of stuff. It was just outdoors, we just had to be home before the street lights came on. We didn't have phones, but we knew where our friends were hanging out at, so all we had to do was just show up, and then next thing you know, other kids would show up.
That's right. And also the food's getting worse, like the brother said down there, All City Ant Con. That's right.
Yeah.
The foods are getting worse. All this. I mean, like just think about it. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they was like, McDonald's makes all these damn hamburgers or whatever, right? And there was like, there's nowhere in the world that they have, that many cows out there that they can feed all these people that many hamburgers every day. So, something's going on. I don't think something's getting mixed in with the meat. Yeah, you definitely ain't getting
3D
beef
printed,
patty.
man.
God, something's going on. You definitely not getting the all beef patty that they promising you. It's just no way. It's just no way. Right.
The quality of food, man, has really gone down unless you're growing it yourself, so that's the best way to do it. But even with that, you got to make sure that you get the seeds that can reproduce itself, because Monsanto has got everything locked up, in their product. So they mix everything with Roundup. So when you eat all this stuff in the produce, you're eating part. I'm
it's
serious.
Weed killer, isn't it?
Yeah, it's weed killer. Because what they're doing is that Monsanto is they're combining genetically the fruits and vegetables with the weed killer. It keeps away the bugs, but it still kills. And they'll even admit that there's small traces of weed killer, but it won't harm you. But they allow all the time though.
That's right.
So that's what people are eating when they buy these stuff in the grocery stores, and then wonder why people have allergic reactions.
Mm-hmm.
It's not because of the atmosphere, it's because of the food.
Yeah, true. Also, everybody crazy nowadays. Everybody's on some kind of pill, some doctor.
Man, that's crazy.
Everything's going on, man. You're not healthy like we were back in the day. Because remember, man, even in the slaves, they used to write these journals and stuff, man, about how we used to be able to work from sun up to sundown, and we would never get sick. Right? How did you go from never getting sick to, Israelites? We got high blood pressure. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got, you know what I'm saying? Like the majority of our people got some type of, ailment that's going on. Right? It's crazy. Verse 15, right? In the days of Sarah are 127 years that she died. And Abraham made a great and heavy mourning, and he performed the rites of mourning for 7 days, right? And all the inhabitants of the land comforted Abraham and Isaac his son on account of Sarah. And when the days of their mourning passed by Abraham, she went away, his son Isaac, and he went to the house of Shem and Eber to learn the ways of the Lord and his instructions. And Abraham remained there 3 years. One thing I wanted to say too, right? The way that Sarah loved her husband, and her son, right? You could tell that even when she knew that she wasn't sure what was going to happen, but she felt like something negative was going to go down. She didn't try to stop Abraham. She didn't try to say, well, I don't know. She was totally obedient, totally submissive to Abraham and let the thing ride. And because she trusted her husband, right, the blessing passed from Abraham to Isaac, right? She got buried and she went up to her peoples, right? Which means, her people would be the righteous in this particular situation. And she was blessed, even though she died of joy, right? She was so happy that she died. I mean, that's kind of a good death, I guess. You so happy that you just die from happiness, I guess. You know what I mean? I'm saying, but still, it's a sad thing to go out. But you just gotta look at the way that she was. It was just a Sarah was loved her children, had Isaac super happy, You know what I'm saying? Even in the beginning when she thought that she couldn't have a child, she gave she gave Isaac the handmaid to try to make a child for him. I mean, like, the woman was top tier. That was a top tier wife right there.
Plus, man, family ties were much closer too. Like you saying earlier, it was custom and common for families to always stay together. It's just like, okay, I got land, it's like I got property, got 30 acres. Let's say my mother comes on and she builds, and my sister, other brothers come on and build. People of like faith-minded people come on and build. But that's where it's supposed to be. And then that way, when I pass away, guess what? They can manage it. The youngest one would still manage the property and keeps it going. And that's the way it's supposed to be. But man, we're so out of whack today that we don't even have that.
I mean, you didn't hear her complaining about when Abraham told her to get in the box, so I can hide you out from these dudes, so they don't. You know what I'm saying? It's just roll with the program, man. That was, what I mean.
She knew what time it was.
Abraham, you never heard Abraham one time complain or anything about his wife. It was always good stuff, man. Man, we need to get back to that as a people, man. We need to get back to the proper order that the Lord has set up.
That ain't gonna happen until we go into the wilderness, brother.
I mean, she was so loved. All the servants and everything they loved. They was tore up about, Sarah, man. That's how it's supposed to be. Anyway, Salakia, right? Verse 18. At that time, Abraham rose up with all the servants. They went and returned home to Beersheba, and Abraham and all his servants remained in Beersheba. And at the revolution of 1 year, which is 364 days, Abimelech, king of the Philistines, died in that year, and he was 193 years old at his death. And Abraham went with his people to the land of the Philistines, and they comforted the whole household and all his servants, and then returned and went home. And it was after the death of Abimelech that the people of Gerar took Ben-Malik, his son, and he was only 12 years old, and they made him lying in the place of lying in the place of his father. There you go.
All right, let's get it. Verse 21. And they called his name Abimelech, after the name of his father, for thus was it their custom to do in Gerar. And Abimelech reigned instead of Abimelech his father, and he sat upon his throne. And Lot the son of Haran also died in those days, in the 39th year of the life of Isaac. So Isaac was 39 years old at the time. And all the days that Lot lived were 140 years, and he died. And that's still a long time. 140 years. Man. And these are the children of Lot that were born to him by his daughters. The name of the firstborn was Moab, and the name of the second was Ben-Ami. Verse 20. Yep, verse 24. And the two sons Lot. Oh, go ahead. You want to scroll up to 23?
Yeah, I got you, brother.
And these are the children of. Okay, I read that one. And the two sons of Lot went and took themselves wives from the land in Canaan, and they bare children to them. And the children of Moab were Ed, Maon, Tarsus, and Canville, 4 sons. These are fathers to the children of Moab unto this day. And all the families of the children of Lot went to dwell wherever they should light upon, for they were fruitful and increased abundantly. It's interesting. I was doing a study on Moab. And the Asiatic people were dark-skinned people at one time, until they were infiltrated and all became white. But the whole world was black. Even scientists will admit to that. Verse 26. And they went and built themselves cities in the land where they dwelt. And they called the names of the cities which they built after their own names. And Nahor, the son of Terah, brother to Abraham, died in those days in the 40th year of the life of Isaac. Now, Terah, was it? Hold on. Let me see. No, it was Nahor. It was Nahor. Nahor burnt in the. Now he got killed in the oven. Didn't he die? Didn't it say he died in the furnace? Nahor.
No, No,
The
no,
son,
no, no.
the father. Wait a minute. The father of Lot. Remember the father of Lot?
The father of Lot. Oh,
Yeah, yeah. The father of Lot was burned in the furnace because remember he said that he's going to see who does what first, and that's why Abraham ended up taking Lot because his father was dead.
no, 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 no. That was his son, right? That was his son.
No, Lot was the son of Nahor. Nahor was the one who died. Nahor is Abraham's
Oh, yeah,
brother.
yeah. Facts. Come on, Salakia.
But it says here, in all the days of Nahor were 172 years, and he died and was buried in Haran.
Nahor was a one. Wait, hold up. And the son,
Yeah,
Nahor, the son of Terah. Oh, Nahor, the son of Terah.
Oh, so that's a different Nahor.
Yeah. Brother to Abraham.
No,
That's gotta.
Yeah.
Wait.
That's the same one. It says, and Nahor, the son of Terah. Wait, and Nahor, the son of Terah, brother to Abraham. Oh, yeah, brother to Abraham. So,
Yeah, that's the same
so
one.
yeah, that's the same one.
The days
That was
of-
burnt in the
wait.
furnace.
Wait, hold up, man. Let me go back real quick. Let me make sure.
Yeah,
I could have
let's
sworn
start right there.
I thought I could have sworn it was something else though. I could have sworn his name was something else.
I remember that, man. Nahor was the one who died. Go back to go back to when Abraham, because Abraham and Torah, Nahor was in the furnace together, but Nahor died. But yeah, go back and make sure. So make sure we there's consistency here. Unless it was going back, and that's how old he was when he died, but I doubt that very seriously, though.
No. I can't be talking about that. Hold up.
Mm-hmm.
No, man. I'm pretty sure it was named something else. You talking about the brother? Remember he had 3 brothers in it.
Okay, stop it right here. Let's go back.
hold
Go back to Jasher. What do we start off at? I want to say it's Jasher 10.
God, I'm gonna start just get Salakia Israel. Give us just a second. Yeah, it was Haran who died. Yeah, okay. Khan.
It was who?
It was Haran who died, right?
Okay.
Yeah. I'm about to say, cause I'm gonna say,
Haran.
yeah. I know the scriptures. Y'all know them boys on point now.
Yeah.
Haran, it was Haran who died.
172
Haran was the brother that died.
Okay, that was the brother. That was the brother of Abraham. That was the brother of Terah.
Khan.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Haran was the oldest son.
Yep.
Right. So it was Haran that died. That got tossed in the fire along with old boy. Because remember, Terah tried to blame Haran for saying that it was him that convinced him to save Abraham.
Right. And Haran said that he was gonna choose, who was right.
It was Haran the one that was choose. Yeah, kind of.
And that's Lot's, and Haran is Lot's father.
Okay, Khan.
Okay. Yep. All right. And Abraham heard that his brother was dead and grieved sadly, and he mourned. He mourned over his brother many days. Verse 29. And Abraham called for Eleazar, his head servant, to give him orders concerning his house. And he came and stood before him. And Abraham said to him, Behold, I am old. I do not know the day of my death, for I am advanced in the days. Now therefore rise up and go forth and do not take a wife for my son from this place and from this land, from the daughters of the Canaanites, amongst whom we dwell. All right. 31.
Isaac was around the same age that Sarah was around that time when so he had to be, I guess he was older, so he had to be maybe close to 100, I guess. Well, not that old. Hold up. She had him at 90, and then she rose him up. So yeah, Abraham probably is a little over 100 at this point in time. Well, probably a little over 100 at this point in time, guessing by Sarah's age. Salaki, go ahead, because they were around the same age. All right.
Yep, he says verse 31.
Con. All right, verse 31. But go to my land and to my birthplace, and take from thence a wife for my son. And the Lord God of heaven and earth took me from my father's house and brought me to this place, and said unto me, To thy seed will I give this land for inheritance forever. And I will send his angel before thee and prosper thy way, that thou mayest obtain a wife for my son, from my family and from my father's house. And the servant answered his master Abraham and said, Behold, I go to thy birthplace and to thy father's house, and take a wife for thy son from there. But if the woman be not willing to follow me to this land, shall I take thy son back to the land of thy birthplace? And Abraham said unto him, Take heed that thou bring not my son hither again, for the Lord before whom I have walked, he will send his angel before thee and prosper thy way. And Eliezer did as Abraham ordered him, and Eliezer swore to Abraham his master upon this matter. And Eliezer rose up and took 10 camels of the camels of his master, and 10 men from his master's servants with him. And they rose up and went to Haran, the city of Abraham and Nahor, city of Abraham and Nahor, in order to fetch a wife for Isaac, the son of Abraham. And whilst they were gone, Abraham sent to the house of Shem and Eber, and they brought from thence his son Isaac. And Isaac came home to his father's house in Beersheba, whilst Eliezer and his men came to Haran, and they stopped in the city by the watering place. And he made his camels to kneel down by the water, and they remained there. And Eliezer, Abraham's servant, prayed and said, O God of Abraham, my master, send me, I pray thee, good speed this day, and show kindness unto my master, that thou shalt appoint this day a wife for my master's son from his family. Right? This has got to be the way that we have to, when you get ready to get you a wife, right? You see how they did this thing? There wasn't no, picking some harlot up from the club or nothing like that. They prayed to the Lord first, right? There's nowhere in the world that you praying to the Lord for a wife and you find her at the club or doing some crazy stuff, right? That's not how it goes down. The first things first is they prayed for the wife. This is why Proverbs 31 woman is rare, right? Because it says, these are like, answering prayers, stuff from the Lord. Verse 37, and the Lord hearkened to the voice of Eliezer for the sake of his servant Abraham. And he happened to meet with the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, the wife of Nahor, brother to Abraham, and Eliezer came to her house. And Eliezer related to them all his concerns, and he was Abraham's servant, and they greatly rejoiced at him. And they all blessed the Lord who brought this thing about, and they gave him Rebekah, the daughter of Bethuel, for a wife for Isaac. And the young woman was of very comely appearance. She was a virgin, and Rebekah was 10 years old in those days. Now remember, now Isaac was also young too. I remember he was just a boy when he was about to get sacrificed, and this was shortly after that time. So he didn't marry no girl that was 10 years old. They had just already, lining them up. They were both young. Go ahead, Slakia. Some people read this and be like, oh, he had a wife that was only 10 years old. What's going on?
All right. Verse 41. And Bethuel and Laban and his children made a feast on that night. And Eliezer and his men came and ate and drank and rejoiced there on the night. And Eliezer rose up in the morning, he and the men that were with him. And he called to the whole household of Bethuel, saying, Send me away that I may go to my master. And they rose and sent away Rebekah and her nurse Deborah. So remember, she still had her nurse with her. So she was still, because a woman didn't marry until they were of marriageable age, that daughter of Uz, and they gave her silver and gold, men servants and maid servants, and they blessed her. And they sent Eliezer away with his men, and the servants took Rebekah, and he went and returned to his masters to the land of Canaan. And Isaac took Rebekah, and she became his wife, and he brought her into the tent. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah. So he's 40 years old. So he was 37 when we last read, and then he was 40 years old when he took Rebekah, the daughter of his uncle's Bethuel, for a wife.
No folly, right? I want to say something like, if you don't agree with what we're saying, hey man, take your behind to another channel. You didn't got to listen, right? Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. That's all I got to say about that.
I didn't even see the comment. What did the comment say?
I don't know, man. It has to, and stop making different accounts just so you can get your 2 cents across. We don't care. Right? Work that out with the Lord.
What was it saying?
I don't know, just some folly. It's
Oh.
not even worth mentioning. I just wanted to say, if you don't like what we're saying, take your behind to another channel. We do not care.
That's for sure.
Go ahead. So me?
Yeah, that's it. I think that's
all
it
right.
in that script, in that
Oh yeah,
I think that was the last one.
Okay. All right. Verse 30, chapter 25. Chapter 25. And it was at that time that Abraham again took a wife of his old age, and her name was Keturah from the land of Canaan, right? Another black woman. And she bare unto him Zimran, Jokshan, Medan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shuach, being 6 sons. Then the children of Zimran were Abihan, Molech, and Nerim. And the sons of Joshan, man, I wish I gave you. I wish you had to read this. The sons of Jokshan were Sheba and Dedan, and the sons of Dedan.
Just remember, man, you know English is not our original language, so it's all right, man.
All right. It's, all right. And the sons of Medan were Amida, Joab, Gochi, Elisha, Nochek, and the sons of Midian were Ephah, Enoch or Chenach, Abidah or Eldiah. Well, good gracious. And the son of Ishbak were Makaro, Beuda, and Tator. Man, they had some hell of the names back in those days, man. Imagine you had, hey, Shuak, what's up, what's up, Shuak?
Hey, man, those names, those names rolled off the tongue like water, boy. It wasn't nothing.
I know. They probably meant something too, and they probably had meaning, every single one of them.
Get over here, Shuak.
Now. And the sons of Shuak were Bildad, Memdad, Munan, and Meban. And all these are the families, the children of Keturah, the Canaanitish woman, which she bare unto Abraham the Hebrew. And Abraham sent all these away, and she gave them gifts, and they went away from his son Isaac to dwell wherever they should find a place. And all these went to the mountain at the east, and they built themselves 6 cities, in which they dwelt unto this day. But the children of Sheba and Dedan, children of Jokshan, with their children, did not dwell with their brethren in their cities, and they journeyed and encamped in countries in the wilderness unto this day. And the children of Medan, sons of Abraham, went to the east of the land of Cush, and they there found a large valley in the eastern country, and they remained there and built a city, and they dwelt therein. That is the land of Midian unto this day. And Midian dwelt in the city which he built, he and his 5 sons, all belonging to him. You got some names too,
It's all good. It's all good. And verse 11. And these are the names of the son of Midian, according to the names in their cities. Ephah, Epher, Chenach, Abidah, and Eldah. And the sons of Ephah were Methach, Meshar, Evi, and Zanoah. And the sons of Ephar were Isran, Zor, Alram, and Midden. And the sons of Chenach were Reo, Rechem, Azai, Eliashib, and Elad. And the sons of Abidah were Chor, Melud, Kure, Mokai. And the sons of Eldah were Micah and Reba, and Mount Shia, and Gobo. These are the names of the Midianites according to their families. And afterwards, their families of Midian spread throughout the land of Midian. And these are the generations of Ishmael, the sons of Abraham, whom Hagar, Sarah's handmaid, bare unto Abraham. I'll let you read.
I think somebody had a question in the comment part. Oh yeah. Is anybody wondering what happened to Ishmael? We're about to find out what happened to Ishmael and his sons.
Yep. And these are because Ishmael, like those what you call those dudes over there, Indians, they're kind of like cousins to the Ishmaelites too. So it's pretty interesting. And these are the generations of Ishmael, the son of Abraham, whom Hagar, Sarah's handmaid, bare unto Abraham. And man, we ought to do a study, man, just the names and like find out where the regions and where the current day regions are today. It says, and Ishmael took a wife. Yeah, and Ishmael took a wife from the land of Egypt, and her name was Ribah, the same as Meribah. And Ribah bare unto Ishmael Nebaioth, Kedar, Abiel, Mibsam, and their sister Basmath. And Ishmael cast away his wife Ribah, because remember that was the one that Abraham said, replace this peg with another one.
Yep, that's right. She was acting a donkey.
And she went from him and returned to Egypt to the house of her father.
No,
And
dirty Egyptian.
Yep. And she dwelt there, for she had been very bad in the sight of Ishmael and in the sight of his father Abraham. And Ishmael afterwards took a wife from the land of Canaan, and her name was Malkuth. And she bare unto him Nishma, Duma, Massa, Shaddad, Tama, Yeter, Naphish, and Ketma. These are the sons of Ishmael, and these are their names, being 12 princes according to their nations. And the families of Ishmael afterwards spread forth, and Ishmael took his children and all the property that he had gained, together with the souls of his household and all the belongings to him. And they went to dwell where they should find a place. And they went and dwelt near the wilderness of Paran, which is, I looked it up. It is in the what they call now the Middle East. And their dwelling was from Havilah unto Shur, and is before Egypt, as thou comest towards Assyria. So them boys are still in that region.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
Man, you wanna well, okay, all right. Well, okay, well, we'll continue reading. And Ishmael and his sons dwelt in the land. I know. You're not trying to avoid all the I'm trying to avoid them genealogy, but it's good for us to study the genealogy though.
Yep.
And Ishmael and his sons, I know. And Ishmael and his sons dwelt in the land, and they had children born to them, and they were fruitful and increased abundantly. And these are the names of the sons of Nebaioth, the first son of Ishmael, Bend and Send and Mayon, and the sons of Kedar were Elion and Kizim and Shemad and Eli, and the sons of Adbel were Chemad and Jabin, and the sons of Mibsam were Abadiah, Abidemelech, and Yeush. And these are the families of the children of Ribah, of the wife of Ishmael. And the sons of Mishma, the sons of Ishmael were Shuama, and Zecharion, and Obed. And the sons of Dumah were Kezed, and Eli, and Machmed, and Ebmed. And the sons of Massa were Melon, and Mula, and Ebidion. And the sons of Chadad were Azur, Menzar, and Edbimelech. And the sons of Timar were Seir, right? And we know what the land of Seir, that's what the name out there, right? Timar was Seir, Sidon, and Yaakov. That might have been Zidon. Okay. And Yaakov. And the sons of Yeter were Mariath, Yeish, Allo, and Pakoth. And the sons of Naphish were Ebed, Tam, Abiasaph, and Mir. And the sons of Kedma were Caleb, Takti, and Omir. These are the sons of Malchus, the wife of Ishmael, according to their families. Jesus, some heck of a name. Well, I'm telling you. Wow. All right. All these are the families of Ishmael according to their generations, and they dwelt in those lands wherein they built themselves cities unto this day. And Rebekah, the daughter of Bethuel, the wife of Abraham, son of Isaac, was barren in those days, and she had no offspring. And Isaac dwelt with his father in the land of Canaan. And the Lord was with Isaac. And Arpachshad, the son of Shem, the son of Noah, died in those days in the 48th year of the life of Isaac. And all the days of Arpachshad lived were 438 years, and he died. All right.
That is something. Man, this is kind of setting the stage. So when by the time that when our people were in Egypt, and when he rose up Moses, and when he had to flee, those people from Shem, from the line of Shem, those Ishmael descendants were already there. So when Moses married the Ethiopian woman, she was from the line of Shem. See, people don't realize that. People try to say that Moses married a Hamite woman. She was not a Hamite. She was from the line of Shem. because she was from the priest. She was like like the daughter of the priest. And Hamites, they don't do priestly stuff like that. That comes from Abraham line, you know. So it's just interesting, man, how the Most High kind of like set these nations up, you know, to set up the rise of our people, to have the seed spread to the four corners. All right, we're at 26.
Gone up. Bring it out.
All right. And in the 59th year of the life of Isaac, so he's 59 now, 59th year of the life of Isaac, the son of Abraham, Rebekah and his wife was still barren in those days. And Rebekah said to Isaac, "Truly I have heard, my Lord, that thy mother Sarah was barren in her days until my Lord Abraham, thy father, prayed for her, and she conceived by him. Now therefore stand up, I pray thou also to God, and will hear thy prayer and remember us through his mercies." And Isaac answered his wife Rebekah, saying, "Abraham has already prayed for me to God to multiply his seed. Now therefore his barrenness must proceed to us from thee." And Rebekah said unto him, "But arise now thou also and pray, that the Lord may hear thy prayers and grant me children." And it's interesting how the women back in those days, they knew that the men were the head. So who do you think they would go to in order to inquire of the Most High? The men. And Isaac hearkened to the words of his wife. And Isaac and his wife rose up and went to the land of Moriah to pray there and to seek the Lord. And when they had reached that place, Isaac stood up and prayed to the Lord on account of his wife's, because she was barren. I'm going to scroll it up to 6 up.
Got you, my brother.
And Isaac said, "O Lord, God of heaven and earth, whose goodness and mercies fill the earth, thou whose didst take my father from his father's house and from his birthplace, and didst bring him into this land, and didst say unto him, to thy seed will I give the land, and thou didst promise him, and didst declare unto him, I will multiply thy seed as the stars of heaven, and as the sand of the sea. Now may thy words be verified, with which thou didst speak unto my father. For thou art the Lord our God. Our eyes are towards thee to give us seed of men, as thou didst promise us. For thou art the Lord our God, and our eyes are directed toward thee only." And the Lord heard the prayer of Isaac, the son of Abraham, and the Lord entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And in about 7 months after, the children struggled together within her, and it pained her greatly that she was wearied on account of them. And she said to all the women who were then in the land, "Did such a thing happen to you as it happened to me?" And they said unto her, "No." Let's scroll that up there a bit.
Got you, my brother. Come on.
And she said unto them, "Why am I alone in this amongst all the women that were upon the earth?" And she went to the land of Moriah to seek the Lord on account of this. And she went to Shem and Eber, his son, to make inquiries of them this matter, and that they should seek the Lord in this thing respecting her. So, you know, there was something going on because, you know, the prophecies, you know, that was going to take place.
And she also asked Abraham to seek and inquire of the Lord about all that had befallen her. And they all inquired of the Lord concerning this matter, and they brought her word from the Lord and told her, 2 children are in thy womb, and 2 nations shall rise from them, and one nation shall be stronger than the other.
Hey, stop right there for a minute. I just want to address something, you know, and I hate when people use this verse and they say, "Oh, well, 2 nations, that's talking about the white boy and the blacks." Man, I hate when people say that, man, because you gotta understand, each tribe is a nation. You know, 12 tribes is not one nation. 12 tribes are each nation. Even though they're brothers, they're different nations. They're separate nations. 12 tribes. You know, no difference with this. This ain't talking about some some European nation that's going to arise.
You know, normally, yeah, it's just, I don't know, man, it's just wild. You know, 2 children are in thy womb, and 2 nations shall arise from them. One shall be stronger than the other, and the greater shall serve the younger. Right? And when their days, and the greater shall serve the younger. Right? And when their days to be delivered were completed, she knelt down, and behold, there were twins in her womb, as the Lord had spoken to her. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and all the people of the land called his name Esau, saying that this one was made complete from the womb. That means that he came out like a grown man. This man was complete from the womb. That's what it says. Not all of a sudden he came out white, or he came out looking like a leopard. And, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like he came out looking like he had leprosy. And I thought is that this one was complete from the womb, which means he had a full head of hair, maybe a beard and hair on his arms or whatever. He's probably looking wild. And after that, right, you know, just like how them people look like that's over there, they got all that damn hair on them, right? And after that, his brother and his hand took hold of Esau's heel before they called his name Jacob. And Isaac, the son of Abraham, was 60 years old when he begot them. And the boys grew up in their 15th year, and they came amongst the society of men. Esau was a designing and deceitful man, right? And an expert hunter in the field, right, which is why the Lord didn't like him. Jacob was a man perfect and wise, dwelling in tents, feeding flocks, and learning the instructions of the Lord and the commands of his father and mother. This is the difference between Esau and Jacob. One, you had that, you know, that badass older son that likes to, you know, go out to parties and do the most, and, you know, you fight and, you know, and scheme up and lie, you know what I'm saying, which was Esau. Then you had Jacob, man, studious, right? He wanted to learn the ways of the Lord. He liked to, you know, take care of the animals, right? He was a born, you know, caretaker, like how Hamashiach is a caretaker of us, right? He's the, you know, he's the shepherd. So it says, dwelling in tents, feeding the flocks, and learning the instructions of the Lord and the commands of his father and mother, right? Man, you know what I'm saying? Ain't that a commandment? Obey thy father and thy mother, so that days shall be long upon the land that you live on, right?
That's right.
And Isaac and the children of his household dwelt with his father Abraham in the land of Canaan, as God had commanded them, right? All of a sudden, you had no white people pop up in the land of Canaan. Back in the day. Come on, man, it's just outrageous. And I would have been all everywhere. Oh, Abraham had a white boy for a son. You know, come on, man. Gotta cut that out. The doctrines. And Isaac and the children of his household dwelt with his father Abraham in the land of Canaan, as God had commanded him. And Ishmael, the son of Abraham, went with his children and all belonging to them, and they returned there to the land of Havilah, and they dwelt there. And the children of Abraham's concubines went to dwell in the land of the east, for Abraham had sent them away from his son, and had given them presents, and they went away. Abraham's concubine. So he had more than one wife. He had more than one, more than just Hagar, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Salon.
All right. And Abraham gave all that he had to his son Isaac. You know, and it was custom, you know, for the father to pass all his dwellings down to the firstborn. And Abraham gave all that he had to Isaac, his son. And, you know, Abraham was wealthy. And he also gave him all his treasures. And concerning, and he commanded him, saying, dost thou know and understand the Lord is God in heaven and in earth, and there is no other besides him. And if it was he who took me from my father's house and from my birthplace, and give me all the delights upon the earth, who delivered me from the counsel of the wicked, and for him did I trust. And he brought me to this place, and delivered me from Kasdim. And he said unto me, to thy seed will I give all these lands, and they shall inherit them when they keep my commandments, my statutes, and my judgments that I commanded thee, in which I shall command them. That's the key right there, y'all.
Amen, brother. All praises.
Now hearken therefore, my son, hearken to my voice, and keep the commandments of the Lord thy God, which I commanded thee. Do not turn from the right way, either to the right or to the left, in order that it may be well with thee and thy children after thee forever. You know, Abraham, man, is giving Isaac some wise counsel. Hey, look, man, this worked for me, so do the same thing. And remember,
turn from the right or the left.
Or left. That's right. It says, and remember the wonderful works of the Lord and his kindness that he has shown toward us in having delivered us from the hands of our enemies. And the Lord our God caused them to fall into our hands. And now therefore keep all that I have commanded thee, and turn not away from the commandments of thy God, and serve none besides him, in order that it may be well with thee and thy seed after thee. You know why he said that? Because it was custom just like when Nimrod started. Nimrod started building all these damn idols, and it just spread throughout the whole earth. You got everybody worshiping these little nicklet heads and idols and crazy stuff, you know, in their homes and everything. You know, he says it's only one God, it's only one creator. So you know, you don't need to be putting no tattoos, you don't need to be putting no items up in your homes or statues that can't hear, smell, or see or think. And teach thou thy children and thy seed the instruction of the Lord and his commandments, and teach them the upright way in which they should go, in order that it may be well with them forever. And Isaac answered his father and said unto him, that which thy Lord has commanded, that will I do, and I will not depart from the command of the Lord thy God, my God. I will keep all that he commanded me. And Abraham blessed his son Isaac and also his children. And Abraham taught Jacob the instruction of the Lord in his ways. And it was at that time that Abraham died, in the 50th year of the life of Jacob and Esau. Wow. 15th, my bad, 15th. So it says, and it was at that time that Abraham died, in the 15th year of the life of Jacob and Esau. You know, so they were just young little lads.
I want to, you know, what's important is that we have to realize here, like, how does the commandments get passed down? Out of every time we see is the fathers teaching the sons the laws, statutes, and commandments. Right? Abraham, you know, brought Isaac away and brought him up to teach him the ways of the Lord. This is why it's very important that we have the fathers in the home, the brothers that keep the laws, statutes, and commandments, so they can have their kids around to teach them the upright way of the Lord, not to go to the left side or to the right, but make way on the straight way.
That's true. Goes all the way back to Enoch. You know, Enoch taught his son Methuselah. Methuselah taught his son.
Man.
When we're down to Noah, Noah taught, you know, in the cave, taught Abraham, you know, along with Noah, Shem, in the cave for 40 years, taught the ways of the Most High in the cave to Abraham. You know, so it stuck with them. You know, and now Abraham, you know, he's in his final years. He's, you know, teaching his son Isaac, so Isaac can teach his sons likewise.
I was supposed to be Israel.
Yeah.
They ain't had no baby mamas back in the days. No single women teaching up, raising up men. They ain't go down like that.
Man. Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Let me see. What was that?
You're on 28, I think.
20. Okay. And Isaac answered his father and said unto him, that which my Lord has commanded that I will do, and I will not depart from the commandments of the Lord my God. I will keep all the command he commanded me. And Abraham blessed his son Isaac and also his children. And Abraham taught Jacob the instructions of the Lord and his ways. All right. Notice it said that and Abraham taught Jacob the instructions of the Lord and his ways. He didn't say anything about Esau. And it was at that time that Abraham died, in the 15th year of the life of Jacob and Esau, the sons of Isaac. And all the days of Abraham were 175 years. So, man, he was up there, man. 175 years old. And he died and was gathered to his people in good old age, old and satisfied with days. And Isaac and Ishmael, his sons, buried him. And when the inhabitants of Canaan heard that Abraham was dead, they all came with their kings. And hold on.
Oh, sorry, Salaki.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't lost my place now.
My bad, man. You in verse 30.
No, I'm reading, man. You just moving
Yeah,
stuff.
that's my
Let me
bad.
read. Let me read again. It says,
Hey,
"And
forgive
when
me,
the
y'all.
inhabitants of Canaan heard that Abraham was dead, they all came with their kings and princes and all their men to bury Abraham." All right, there you go.
My bad. All right. Verse 31. And all the inhabitants of the land of Haran, and all the families of the house of Abraham, and all the princes and grandees and the sons of Abraham by concubines, all came when they heard of Abraham's death, and they requited Abraham's kindness and comforted Isaac his son, and they buried Abraham in the cave which he had bought in Hebron the Hittite, and his children for a possession and a burial place. And all the inhabitants of Canaan and all those who had known Abraham wept for Abraham a whole year. And men and women mourned over him. And all the little children and all the inhabitants of the land wept on the account of Abraham, for Abraham had been good to them all, and because he had been upright with God and men. Right? It says all of them had did it because he was upright with God and men. You know how the scriptures say that keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments and make sure even your enemies be at peace with you. You know what I mean? That's what it says. So it says, verse 34. And there arose not a man who feared God like unto Abraham, for he feared his God from his youth, and he had served the Lord, and he had gone all his way during his life, from his childhood to the day of his death. And you know what that means? Is that a lot of us don't find the Lord until we get older, right? Remember, man, Moses didn't start serving the Lord until he was 80, right? Even though he knew some of the ways of his forefather, he wasn't really instructed until the total ways of obeying the Lord until he was 80 years old, right? So it says, verse 35, and the Lord was with him and delivered him from the counsel of Nimrod and his people. And when he made war with the 4 kings of Elam, he conquered them. Right? Y'all gotta remember, man, that's something amazing. He said, remember, 4 kings. Remember, man, he defeated all of them. Abraham and his men. Man, you know what I mean? Yep. 4 kings had them running for their lives.
It was no small army, and I think if I read correctly, he had more than 300 people. At least 300 people. Yeah, that's right. a lot of fighting power.
And he brought all the children of the earth to the service of God. And he brought all the children of the earth to the service of God, and he taught them the ways of the Lord and caused them to know the Lord. And when he formed a grove and he planted a vineyard therein, he had always prepared his tent meat and drink to those that passed through the land, that they might satisfy themselves in his house. Man, this man, he was giving out to, giving it away to, to the hungry, to the poor and stuff like that. Man, he had something set up so that those that pass by, you get something free to eat. Man, you don't do that today. You know what I'm saying, man? Somebody come and knock on your house door and ask you for something, man. You might lie to them, tell them you don't got it.
Yeah.
Man, this is nothing like how it is today, man. Good gracious, man. This is
the hospitality back then, man, was off the chart, boy.
The scriptures say charity, which is what Abraham was doing. That does what? That forgiveth, right? That washes away a lot of sins. Man, this brother was, he was on a whole other level. Makes me
Abraham was
my game
up. Abraham was kind of like your modern day, what was like a Mansa Musa, man. That's probably where Mansa Musa got his stuff from. It's Abraham. All the wisdom.
And the Lord God delivered the whole earth on account of Abraham. And it was after the death of Abraham that God blessed his son Isaac and his children. And the Lord was with Isaac as he had been with his father Abraham. For Isaac kept all the commandments of the Lord of Abraham his father, and had commanded him. And he did not turn to the right nor to the left from the right path which his father had commanded him. All praises, man.
All right. Verse 27. And Esau at that time, after the death of Abraham, frequently went in the field to hunt. And Nimrod, king of Babel, the same was Amraphel, also frequently went with his mighty men to hunt in the field and to walk about with his men in the cool of the day. And Nimrod was observing Esau all the days, for a jealousy was formed in his heart, in the heart of Nimrod, against Esau all the days. And on a certain Nimrod's still alive. And on a certain day, Esau went in the field to hunt, and he found Nimrod walking in the wilderness with his 2 men. And all the mighty men of his people were with him in the wilderness, but they removed at a distance from him, and they went from him in different directions to hunt. And Esau concealed himself for Nimrod, and he lurked for him in the wilderness. I'm gonna raise it up.
Gotcha, my brother.
This got to be. Is this a different Nimrod, or is this the same Nimrod? This can't be the same Nimrod, is it?
Yeah, man. Nimrod ain't
Same
dead.
Nimrod?
Remember, man. Yeah, he's from the old world. He gonna live a long. He left a good.
Man.
He lived a good little while.
Yeah, I guess he did. And so, and
He had
Nimrod,
them skins too. He had them skins too. So you already know.
And Nimrod and his men that were with him did not know him. And Nimrod and his men frequently walked about in the field at the cool of the day, and to know where his men were hunting in the field. And Nimrod and 2 of his men that were with him came to that place where they were when Esau started suddenly from his lurking place, and drew his sword and hastened and ran to Nimrod and cut off his head. And Esau fought a desperate fight with the 2 men that were with Nimrod. And when they called out to him, Esau turned to them and smote them to death with his sword.
So Esau
and
all Nimrod. Oh, Slaki, I'm gonna screw that up for a little bit.
Yep.
But to 9. All right, there you go.
And all the mighty men of Nimrod who had left him to go to the wilderness heard the cry at a distance, and they knew the voice of those 2 men, and they ran to know the cause of it. When they found their king and the 2 men that were with him lying dead in the wilderness. And when Esau, it was the king, and when Esau saw the mighty men of Nimrod coming at a distance, he fled and thereby escaped. And Esau took the valuable garments of Nimrod, the valuable garments. So I wonder if that was the skins.
That is the skins.
Oh, dang.
So Esau took the skins?
It says valuable garments.
Yeah. I know
we might have to look at it. It could be that though, but it says valuable garments. So yeah, gotta be the skins. He fled and thereby escaped, and Esau took the valuable garments of Nimrod, which Nimrod's father had bequeathed to Nimrod. Those are the skins. Yeah. And bequeathed, and which Nimrod prevailed over the whole land, and he ran and concealed them in his house.
Man, hey, I want to point out something. You know, Brother Daniel and myself, we have read this book probably. I can't even count how many times. Listen to it. I can't count how many times. And this still goes to show you that
I know.
You know, when you read the scriptures and you always find something new. There's always something new to learn, or there's always something new that you might have looked over before, or maybe wasn't really closely paying attention, and then it comes out.
Because we were like, who has the skins now?
Yeah. Who has the skins?
This is interesting. Yep, a little note in mine.
Oh yeah, come on. It's on me, right? 11.
Yep.
All right. Verse 11. And Esau took those garments and ran into the city on account of Nimrod's men. And he came to his father's house, wearied and exhausted from fight. And he was ready to die through grief when he approached his brother Jacob and sat before him. And he said unto his brother Jacob, look, so this is how you know what I'm saying? This goes to a much better detail of what happened, of why he gave up his birthright. You know what I mean? And he was ready to die through the grief which he approached his brother Jacob and sat before him. And when he said unto his brother Jacob, behold, I shall die this day, and wherefore do I want the birthright? And Jacob acted wisely with Esau in this matter, and Esau sold his birthright to Jacob, for it was so brought about by the Lord. All right. He said he acted wisely and was like, yeah, man, let me get that birthright from you there, homie. And Esau's portion in the cave of the field of Meshpelah, and Abraham had brought from the children of Heth for the possession of the burial ground, Esau also sold to Jacob. Dog. Right. And Jacob bought all this from his brother Esau for value given. Right. And Jacob wrote the whole of this in a book, and he testified the same with witness, and he sealed it, and the book remained in the hands of Jacob. Right. So he had a copy of his brother's signature. Right. You know what I mean? He knew what the old boy couldn't say that, oh no, you didn't give me the birthright or this, that, and the third, even though he was bitter about it at the end because he thought that he was going to be able to trick his brother and still get the birthright and the blessing from his father. I'm telling you, man, Esau is wicked as hell, man. That's why it says that he was cunning and deceptive, right? And when Nimrod, the son of Cush, died, his men lifted him up and brought him in consternation and buried him in his city. And all the days of Nimrod lived were 215 years, and he died, right? So come on, right, man. Nimrod got slew in his old age by Esau. Esau put him down, right? I guess I'm gonna finish this up. It's only 17 verses in this.
Yes.
Come on, Israel. So it says, and the days of Nimrod reigned on the people of the land were 185 years. And Nimrod died by the sword of Esau in shame and contempt. And the seed of Abraham caused his death, as he had seen in his dream. You remember that? You remember we had that dream and that prophecy that that the seed of Abraham was going to kill him? It sure did come to fruition. And the death of Nimrod, his kingdom became divided into many nations, and all those parts that Nimrod reigned over were restored to the respective kings of the land, who recovered them after the death of Nimrod. And all the people of the house of Nimrod for a long time enslaved to all the other kings of the land. Yeah, Khan, that's exactly why he tried to kill him as a baby. Yeah, because it sure did come to fruition.
Yep, man.
Yeah, so we're gonna stop it right there, Israel, at verse 27 today.
Chapter 27.
Slock it. Good looking up. At chapter 27, and we're gonna pick up some more with the Jacob and Esau story come next week.
Right. Yep. Oh, it's gonna get real. It's gonna get really good, Joshua. But do anybody have any questions though concerning what we read so far? Anything that anyone needs some clarity on? And don't worry, like when we get into like the descendants of Esau, we're gonna break it down and we're gonna show you those regions too that are still exist today. Because I think I saw a comment where it says who are the current Esau folks today. Well, they're definitely not the Europeans. I can tell you that.
Absolutely not.
No.
Come on. Well, Israel, if we don't got any questions or anything like that, we'll wait a few minutes if you guys got any questions or anything like that, or you might, you know what I'm saying? And let me put a link down in the comment board real quick. We might have one of those disgruntled guys. Now, if you want to argue your point, right? If you want to argue your point, if you got some scriptures to back up what you got to say, sure, we don't mind. You come on, right? And show us what you got in your doctrine. And we're not right all the time. Who knows? You might have something on me and Brother Daniel. But the link is in the description for any detractors or any folks that think that have a problem with us reading out of the book of Jasher. Please show us anywhere in the book of Jasher where it is falsehood, folly, and it doesn't agree with the other scriptures.
That's right.
If you think that, I can guarantee you 100% without a shadow of a doubt that your understanding of the other scriptures is off. All right.
Man, what a blessed lesson, man. I mean, with these books that were written for us, man. I mean, they just can't hold a candle to them.
Man, that's right.
And then when you if you even have the slightest of doubt, you can go visit certain regions and on the earth, you can see like residues and stuff like that. You can still see, like even in America, places that are remnants of the flood. You see big old rocks that was thrown out of place, and the evidence are there. If you look at like some mountains that look like almost big old giant round tree stumps or something, it's like some kind of prehistoric fossil or something.
You know what? Hey, remember a lot of these scriptures, brother, that they said that they named them after their own name. So I'm sure that we can utilize AI or any of these other search tools to figure out what lands were named beforehand, and we can easily figure out who the people are of the land today, right? Of where these folks are, stuff like that, because the names have got to be there in the history. You know what I mean? For us to look up. Like Brother Daniel was saying earlier, we might do a a live lesson where we just, invite a bunch of brothers on, and then, we all do some research and we break this down and see what we can find, man. That'll be a fun lesson right there.
Yeah, we'll pull up the maps. We'll get out Google. We'll have the coordinates and everything. And hey, we'll call it maybe we could do it for the next new moon, man. We'll just get on, man, that night. And
searching for the nations.
Anybody want to join them, man? Yeah, you could. Yeah, searching the current locations of the nations.
God, that's a good one right there. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Right, searching the current location of the nations. Yeah, we'll call it that. That's a good one.
Yeah, and we're gonna do that for like a new moon.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Con. That's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we're gonna be up for all night with that one. We'll probably be up all night studying that one.
And then you can see kind of you'll get a taste of how me and Brother Aton get together and study. So we'll just invite you all, whoever wants to come in.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up, brothers. Yeah, definitely. Because we'll go ahead. We'll do this next time. We'll put in the link, right? Get your books, get your study stuff together, and then we can all study the stuff together. You know what I mean?
Because you might find something. You might find something that you might want to share.
Now, first thing I'm gonna tell you now, anytime you're going to prove something, you're gonna have to bring out 50 scriptures to pull it out to prove it to Brother Daniel. You know what I mean? You're gonna bring 50 scriptures to pull it out to Brother Daniel.
No, I just need 3. That's all. Just 3. And the mouth of 3 or 2. Oh, yeah. Got the pops on, bro.
Okay. Let me see. Let me add you to the stage. No, Apostle. Oh, you're okay.
Shalom. Shalom,
Dad don't want to be on stage. He good.
Okay.
Old man don't want to be on stage. Backstage. All right, then. All praises to the Most High, man. We don't have any other questions or anything like that, Israel. Let me know what's going on. If you got any questions, if not, I'm gonna turn it over to Brother Daniel, so we can go ahead and close it out.
All right, Jasher, but hey, we'll definitely put it out ahead of time. We're gonna do that study, so if y'all want to join in with us. But with that being said, I pray that you all edified. Just continue to do the read aheads and everything as we go to the book of Jasher. We're gonna be in this book for a good minute, so we're gonna cover a lot of factual, exciting things. So all praise to the Most High. All right, Joshua. Well, we're gonna bid you a hearty Shabbat Shalom.
Stay strong, Israel. Stay strong.
All praises to the Most High.